People over paper listeners, what's up? What's going on? Happy Sunday. Hope y'all just got out of church. Y'all having a blessed day. The title of today's segment is Being Stronger Than the Algorithm. Today, man, we're talking about everything from J. Hall's beard to the story of Peter to knowing and being intentional with your own process, man. Welcome to the People Over Paper podcast, and let's get ready to hit it.
Okay, you know how I want to start this thing off?
Yeah. How do you want to start off?
What is growing on your face? What is growing on your face? That's what I want to know.
Oh, that's how we're starting off.
That's what I want to know. That's where I want to start the conversation.
That's
today.
cool. That's fair. That we could start that way. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are not used to seeing me with a mustache, and it's actually like creeping me out because I've never grown one. But I'm trying. Okay, like I'm gonna get the beard back. And we're just gonna focus on the face.
You about to do like the Pat Fields beard, where it's got like 2 inches of girth.
I mean, I don't even know how to respond to that without like hurting Patrick's feelings. I mean, yeah, similar to Pat. Like I'm gonna just see how far it'll go.
Hair.
He got that. He got a Fu Manchu in his beard. You know what I mean?
My light ain't good enough, but I got like one brown hair. It actually looks hard in person.
He got a Fu Manchu out his chin hair. Like it's gonna circle up because there's nothing in the middle, and then he's got 2 points to come down, kind of like fangs.
Bro,
I was
you just
watching
can't see my stuff right now because it's virtual, bro. In person, my stuff is hard.
I can't even see it, Pat, because you're wearing black and like.
Nah, it's like
your face is black.
A little navy.
Well, it's dark.
A little navy.
So I can't really see it.
He I
don't know, maybe the YouTube copy will look better.
It's okay though, because Pat's in the middle of moving right now. Pat, where are you moving to?
Yeah, right.
Where are you moving?
Bro, so I told you. Yeah, so last time we shot, I was supposed to be doing a private equity job, but I took this job in McKinsey instead. So it's like consulting. So I'm moving to Dallas.
Hey, do y'all do Rex recommendations?
Bro, I told you to come work. I've been told you.
I know. I just wanted to hear you say it on video, so now I have a video evidence.
Bro, CKJ Hall is asleep, bro.
I know he's asleep.
I would say how much J Hall would be making out the gate, but we'll keep that for offline.
Why? Because that's how much you making out the gate.
Nah, bro, Pat's making a pretty penny, bro.
What you got? 170.
Bro,
why not?
No.
Mine's public knowledge. I'm making $80K for the University of Oklahoma, and then I got my TV on the side. Yeah, I know.
You're a state employee.
Well, everybody and their grandma want to talk about it all the time when I'm up there, so I'm just used to it. Hey, transparency is key. You know,
I guess that is true.
But they don't know how much I'm making that TV though.
for podcast purposes, do you want to give a range or no? I mean, you don't have to. We're not gonna make you, but I mean,
maybe in the future.
We'll okay. Pat's like, okay.
You haven't signed the contract yet?
Nah, I've signed my offer.
Oh, so then you just being soft.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're scared, man. I mean, what are they?
Well, Caleb, your whole life isn't on, Patrick's whole life isn't on social media anymore. Everybody knows your every move now. You know
that's not true. People don't know what I got going on.
Bro,
social
we
media.
all know you living more.
Hey, this is a good topic. Actually, social media is a game. We were just talking with our producers and our editors, Alex and Colin, and if you didn't know, we've confirmed it with Colin that there's an algorithm on Instagram.
Yeah.
And if you post at the same time every single week, the same amount of times, you're more likely to get placed on the top of that algorithm in front of other people, hit a For You page, and somebody's going to click on that thing and add up the numbers. I'll tell you, it worked for me because in my first year of actually trying, basically the only year I was ever single, to promote myself on social media.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, it does work.
Yeah, I got 30K more followers. You know, so
yeah, I got 8K.
10 on Instagram and 20 on Twitter. Just doing the
Yeah.
algorithm, playing the game.
It
So
does work.
Bro,
It
y'all
works.
also gotta acknowledge though, whenever Coach Riley left and everybody was tweeting, like everybody was getting like 5,000 followers. left and right.
Everybody.
If you
No,
was
no,
posting.
this was before Coach Riley though.
Yeah.
True.
This is like beginning. This is like probably summer. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
it's when the influencer app people came
When
and
they
talked
came
to
to
us. I
talk
think.
to us.
That's
When was
right,
that?
because it was at the start of NIL, whenever it first
Yeah.
started in like beginning of July.
Yeah. And they were like, y'all have to start marketing each other better. Like posting on your story like once a day and then making an actual post once a week. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like a social media dude.
I'm
so
doing terrible
I
at it
don't
right now. I haven't posted in like since I've gotten cut, actually.
Shoot. Yeah, you get cupcaked up, and next thing you know, all your pictures are with somebody else, and you're like, shoot, every single picture I post gonna be a family picture. And so
Yeah.
I had to find some.
I ain't gonna lie. She does a good job of taking your pictures. Larson?
Oh no, that was Crit. So see, here's my other little selfish thing that I've done. Yeah, Larson. I mean, she'll take my
Bro,
pictures.
that
now.
was your one and only opportunity to give her credit
No,
for something that
she
did.
takes great pictures with me, but Crid, he's been carrying around a camera. Jeremiah Cradell, I'm sure we'll eventually have him on the show just because he's entertaining and he's a young guy trying to figure life out. But he's cutting hair right now. He was a student assistant right now. He's taking photos right now. He's trying to figure out his walk in life. And so right now he's carrying a camera everywhere. So that was how I got a couple individual pictures. He was like, CK, flick.
I'm with it. I like that.
But yeah.
Speaking of, I don't think our listeners know who Colin is. Like I mention Alex all the time. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So for those of y'all, because most of our fans have gone from Podcasts on the Prairie and supporting us. Colin is our video editor, I guess. Is that your official title, Colin?
We should call him a director of video editing. We need to add a director in there.
Yeah.
That's because
that's a better title.
Put that on the resume. Hello. Director of video editing.
Alex is our producer, and
he's
Colin is
our president producer, our director of producing. Yes, director of
technically owner of the Podcast on the Prairie too.
Well, this isn't Podcast on the Prairie.
This is a new podcast though.
I mean, if he wants to own it, shoot.
Now, Per Me Media. There you go.
Oh, Per Me Media.
Yeah, that's his technically his company, I guess. I don't know. He doesn't have a mic, so he can't really put his input in. But
they're both on.
yeah, they're both on and watching. You guys on YouTube won't see them. Bro, I really got to come back to this beard though. Please don't do that, bro. Like, because one day it's gonna be nice and poofy and you know what I'm really growing it out for, bro. You know what I'm really growing it out for?
No.
Take a wild guess.
What you're growing your beard out for?
Mm-hmm.
No Shave November?
Nah, bro. When I met old girl, I didn't have a beard.
Pat, how's your day going? Because he's talking about now.
Bro, okay. Anyways, I'm joking. I'm completely joking. Dang, y'all can't take a joke. Golly. Anyways, I'm growing it out for Zach's wedding. That's why.
Oh, June 17th? June 17th?
Yeah, so I got plenty of months to like get it wrong, get it right, you know?
Yeah. I'm happy for you.
Dang.
I like the little mustache look. Makes you look older. You look like
and I think it's about 32. Time as well.
I'd say 32.
I was thinking the same thing, Pat.
Because you 32, bro. You're definitely bald. You know, been working that job 5 to 6 years. Mustache ain't lining up the mustache anymore. You don't care. You're probably married or gone through.
Well, I was watching this GQ video on YouTube, right? And it said for like 30 to 60 days, just let it like poof, like let it just go.
That's how Pat started. I remember. Yeah, patchy all over the place.
Yeah, Pat was looking dusty for a while.
I'm finally starting to somewhat come in together. I need to get a job.
Yeah.
It was easier when I played football though, because then I could be like, I play football. It don't even matter. Like people don't see my face. Put a chin
strap on.
Yeah. But now it's like I actually have to go in public. Like when I go to the grocery store now, I'm like, dang, like this is my public appearance.
public appearance is something that we can relate to this show actually today. As you see in the world, there's biases, right? And so one way to defeat biases, whether you're on social media or not, is to have a good public appearance. And so the reason why we're on Jay Hall so bad right now is because, you know, we're black men. There's automatically a bias there, whether you believe it or not. When you mention all the degrees and you mention all the accolades, that helps for sure. But you got to be presentable. And so I'm just making sure a guy like Jay Hall, who's out there hungry and looking at different job offers, he's taking care of himself. Pat, you got anything to comment on that?
Hey, collared shirt, tattoos popping.
See,
Hey,
pretty
tattoos. See, now you're a
Jay
thug.
Hall. Oh wow, Jay Hall, what's the finishing touches to your sleeve? Does anybody even know about that? Have you ever posted on socials?
Oh, about my tattoos and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Well, I don't know if I've talked about this, but I'm Lumbee Native American. So all my
Can you
stuff
spell
is
that?
Lumbee is Lumbee.
That's cool.
Yeah, actually that's a good topic, Pat. So the top, like the BMW looking sign, like when y'all first clown me about it, this is the symbol for it. So it's actually supposed to be red, black, yellow, and white.
I've never
Some
clowned
people
you
would be
for
like,
that.
No,
But now
I'm kidding.
I'm
but-
going to.
Yeah, nah. Some people were like, "Why you got the BMW sign?" I'm like, "Nah." Like, I mean, it's a good story to have too, though, because then I start talking about it, and then people are like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So most people think I'm just like black and white. I'm like, nah. So all of it is like Native American based for the most part.
That's dope.
You got a warrior on there. And,
Oh yeah. Then I got the inside. That's like an eagle and a face in the center.
Mhm.
I just got that one. Yeah. And on the inside it says only change is guaranteed.
It's 2023. People are accepting tattoos now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really think too much about it unless somebody asks.
I
but
got a hand tat, though. You know.
Patrick's got a nice tattoo. The lion in Africa tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. You
calf.
remind me about it.
Yeah. I forget too, bro, unless somebody asks me. But
I don't know. I'm done with tests though. That's it for me.
No, I'm just
yeah, after I finish my sleeve, I need a break.
I'm getting my whole right side,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
even my face.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that'll be a great
No, I'm
great
playing.
example for Suede, bro. Like, just
I'm
go
playing.
ahead and
What you got more tattoos than me?
I do, but you said your face.
I was
don't know
just
if I would
kidding
rock
on
with
the
that.
face. I'm not getting a face tat. This ain't gonna make money, man. You know,
Hey, bro. Speaking of, how's the family doing?
the family.
Papa Kelly. Yeah.
Papa is what Sway calls all his grandpas, but Father Kelly, I'm doing good, man. Family's good. See Sway, back in the routine of going to school. He had winter break, so it took a couple of days to get that sleep schedule back on track. Thank you for a sleep
Yeah.
schedule. Hallelujah. Larson, she been working out, and that's always fun to look at, and Salon is doing well. They're
Do you work out with her, or how does that go?
She usually goes with her sister, and then the
Okay.
other day we did couples yoga. That's an event for sure. You should check out. Get real intimate. We had it was real couple yoga, but it was kind of intimate because of closeness. Like you have to help each other do the yoga, not on.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what?
But it was hard. It was I had to lift her up, and then with my feet and no hands, and she'd be Superman pose is what it was called, and so she's planking in the
Oh,
air,
wow.
and I'm this is hard, low key. So yeah, and then she did it to me, and I was like, this defies all physics. You should not be able to lift me up, and she did, but I don't know, it blew my mind. I'm literally planking in the air, and she's lifting me up by her feet. And I'm like,
Oh, okay.
but you gotta
Okay,
do
so-
crazy things, with
No,
the
that
loved
sounds
one.
fun.
But yeah.
That sounds fun.
Life's good though.
So that's
less.
Your couple hobby,
Yeah,
like yoga.
yeah. I mean, we need to stretch. Been working out hard, so get my
Yeah.
4 days a weekend.
I need to see a chiropractor, bro. That's what I need.
Man,
I need somebody to break.
break your back.
Whoa. Whoa.
You see, I stopped. You see, I stopped.
I just was wondering if that was what you were going to say.
You see, I stopped. I need somebody to adjust my spine.
That's not any better.
This is a PG-13 podcast.
Today,
I don't even know what
I
y'all.
don't know. You got me in the middle of the day. Usually we do the podcast and it's like the first thing in the morning when we're recording. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I only got enough awake to focus on what the topics are. But
normally we record before church.
Yeah,
so
we're
like
midday. Yeah, I already got the Lord flowing through me. Energy's on 12 out of 10.
Yeah.
Y'all hear anything good today in church today?
In church today? Oh, I got some notes for you if you need it. Go ahead, J Hall. What you hear?
One thing that me and my mom have been talking about a lot lately is that when you give your life to Christ, right, you are made new. And I think that we hear that a lot, but my mom is like, you're not made better. You're not a better person. You're not anything compared to what you used to be. You're a new person, you know, like you're fresh out, you know, like there is no comparison to life before Christ and life after Christ. It's just life before Christ and life afterwards. It's just, you know, now maybe you have old habits that you got to get rid of, or maybe you have something on your mind that you need to let go. But I thought that was an interesting concept, you know, letting go of any past transgressions, accepting where you're at and moving on, being better for it. Or I guess new. I mean, it's kind of, I say better, but I hope y'all kind of understand what I mean, you know? That makes sense?
It does.
Hopefully. I don't know. I mean, you didn't say anything, so I'm like, well, I guess. I don't know. Did I get too deep too quick? Like, dang.
No, it's good. That's good. Being reborn in the image, the likeness of Jesus, because he died on the cross for your sins. Therefore, there's a coat of his glory over you. Yeah. No, that's good. That's real. There's something to think about, though. I don't know. It just got me thinking more than anything. It got me thinking because I didn't hear that today. So when you were saying it right now.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I was like,
good point.
Like, that's a good point. Like, better. Like, it's not, I'm not better. I'm brand new. So you think at the start of the 2023 year, everybody's talking about, oh, new year, new me again, how they do every other year. But it's like, that's the ultimate new year, new me.
Yeah. And he paid the ultimate price for it, bro.
Ultimate price.
Bro, the older I get, the more I respect the life that Jesus lived. Because you got to think, even if you didn't know his life, right? Like, even if you didn't read the Bible, as long as you know what sin is, to think of someone living a sinless life, right? Completely from like point A to point B all the way through. It's tough, hard. I can barely go a day. And he did it for a lifetime.
Yeah, I've never had a perfect day, except for maybe that one day where I slept because after surgery, like the entire day, that might have been the only day I didn't make a mistake.
Your best day on earth was the day you weren't conscious.
That's good. Any comment on that one, Pat?
Nah, that's real talk. And I think that the crazy thing is with sin, like obviously we have our actional sin in terms of what we do, but the depths of it going into our heart and our mind and our thoughts, and like, you know, even if we don't sin, you know, like God said in the Bible that, you know, you can commit adultery in your heart, you know what I mean, looking at another woman and lusting after her. So like, even though we may not externally act, you know, we're still sitting in our hearts. And I think that's crazy whenever you understand the depths of sin, and then, you know, for Jesus to never sin, it's just crazy to even try to wrap your mind around.
And that no sin is greater than another.
Right.
So then he counts them all the same. Ooh, look at somebody wrong.
I would say like God's the test for sin is the same, but there's consequences. I think the consequences differ based on your sin. Because the sin of unbelief is the ultimate sin, because, you know, if you're an unbeliever, then results in damnation as opposed to.
Yeah, but if you don't believe and you didn't have the opportunity to believe, then that's forgiven as well. Like for kids.
That is forgiven. Yeah.
Yeah, sin can get deep. What I got today was Adam Starling, Pastor Adam Starling. He's been my pastor since 2016, Jay Hall since 2017, and Pat knows him, and they respect each other.
Yeah, he came out to school a lot, bro.
And got to hear from him a
We
lot.
call it.
Today he talked about where miracles happen. And so I'll just summarize it real quick. The 3 points he said are in a place of your frustrations, in a place of your obedience, and in a place of your realness. And so the place of your frustration is when he's talking about when Peter was a fisherman still, right as the beginning of Jesus's ministry, where they're fishing on the boat, casting out nets all day long, and then they don't catch anything. Jesus comes along after preaching all day, tells them to cast their net one more time, and then they catch so many fish that the boat begins to sink. And so basically the place of the frustration is all day. Peter doesn't have any any success. And so that's obviously frustrating. That's his livelihood. And then a place of your obedience, Jesus comes and tells him to cast out one more time. And he says, okay, just because you say so. And just because it's the Lord, and he knows that presence. And then the place of realness is after he saw the success, after he saw all the fish, Peter proclaimed, "Go away from me, for I am sinful." And that was real because he saw his own mistakes immediately and told the Lord, like, I'm not worthy, basically. And then everybody knows, or majority of people know, that Jesus told him to leave his nets, leave his livelihood, and come follow him. And he did. Peter did. And so, it was just powerful thinking like that's when miracles happen, not when you're sitting there, everything's going good, not when life's all great, but when you're in the middle of your frustration and you still obey and you still live by the word and do what's right and do what the Lord's calling you to do, even though that can be murky, even though that can be hard to see clearly, and it can be in the roughest valleys, you continue to press on. And then that's where those miracles come. You look back and you see the miracles. You're never really looking ahead and seeing them.
Bro, that's
feel
real
like-
because I was my fault, J Hawk. But I was reading
go ahead.
I've been reading Job. And
hard life.
it's crazy because whenever you look at things and, you know, like us as believers, we know all things work to the glory of God. And then, you know, Job had to endure suffering for the purpose of God and the glory of God, even though he didn't understand what was going on at the time. He didn't understand that, you know, the devil was talking to God and saying, let me test your greatest human or this man that you believe to, you know, walk so uprightly. And, you know, conversation going back and forth, the devil saying, oh, he's only doing this because he's wealthy, he's prosperous, he has all this land, all these animals, all these riches, so forth and so on. And, you know, Job didn't understand at the time that he was having to suffer to glorify God, and showing that us serving God and us serving God isn't, you know, shouldn't be predicated on our success or our wealth, you know, here on earth. It should be serving him just because of his glory and in the forgiveness that he gave us in our salvation. So I think that kind of goes to, you know, the point that you were making, that we may not always understand what particular times that we're in, what God's doing in our life. You know, we don't understand what's the purpose of these hard times or these good times, and that we should just, you know, serve and glorify him through it all. So
Another thing in terms of miracles, I think Adam talked about this before another Sunday, but looking for the miracles too. Like, miracles happen more often when it's like, y'all know when you want a car, right? And you're looking for that car on the internet or whatever, then you naturally start seeing that car more often around town because you're like actively looking for that car.
Right.
And it's the same thing with miracles too. It's like when you wake up every day looking for a miracle, then you actively start saying, oh, is that a miracle? That's a blessing. Yeah, that's definitely a blessing. You know, breaking it down to like the small things in life. Like for me today, example, right? I brought a friend with me to church that I've known for over 10 years now. And the last time he went to church with me was when we were 16. And I think that was the last time he went to church. And he wants to come back next Sunday, you know, and he was raised in a household where they just didn't go to church. You know, his
Yep.
mom's not a believer. And to me, that's a miracle, bro. Cause it's like, dang, like who knows what could go from here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to go back to Oklahoma, but he's like, yo, like, even if you're not here, I'll come back with your mom,
Yeah.
you know? And to see, and I'm not gonna lie, the pastor said some stuff today. I'm like, oh, bro, I don't think he's gonna want to come back. Like, the pastor got like
Challenging.
nitty gritty today.
Mhm.
Yeah. But to see him respond and say, it's like in coaching, bro, either you shy away from it or you lean into it. And to
Yeah.
see him lean into it is a beautiful thing. And so I'm excited for him and his future. As a matter of fact, I got to church early today just to make sure that I could go grab him. We can go get a seat.
Yeah.
Things went smooth. Like, it made me excited to see him want to come. So that was my miracle for today.
That's good.
Pat.
That's real, bro. You know, it's crazy because I feel like we be on here, man. We be talking about, we say we finna talk about these other stuff. We just get to talking about the Bible and God. Shucks. Next thing you know, it's 60 minutes.
I think it's important. I mean, we got a schedule. We'll move on eventually, but I think that if we claim that this is the most important part of our life, like our relationship with Christ, then why not? You know,
It's
Facts.
organic too. It's not like it's like
Right.
we actually come in with a plan, talk about something, and then God takes over. You know, He's just gonna do what He
Right.
does. He's gonna take over any place. You can get somebody and go to church from the gas station. You might bump into somebody in the restroom or something and be like, "Hey, man, you know God," which is crazy, but like, you never know. I'm pretty sure it's happened to somebody. Like, oh, I read something on the wall and was like, I need to go to church. Like, you hear different stories like that. And I mean, we sitting here, we're all vessels and we're all open to it. So He's going to use
Man.
us every time.
And that's a crazy thing, like seeing, because obviously all of us are transitioning. You know, CK, you a little bit more along later down the road of your transition, but me and Jay Hall, we kind of like in the middle. But just seeing the development and how God is using us, like as an athlete, you know, just a year ago now, and then like now as a businessman or
Mhm.
whatever the case is. And it's dope to see like God working in our lives and like using us as vessels, and you know, us seeing different approaches. You know, like obviously we're a lot more mature now, and you know, we in different rooms than we once were. So like learning how God uses us, he develops our intellect, communication ability to talk to people in different rooms than we once were. So yeah, bro. I don't know. I could go on for days and days, but yeah, bro.
nah, that's real. I was doing some research the other day, just dabbling in different stuff that I thought was cool. And they said, or the research said that you go through puberty twice, right? So once as
13.
9, 10, 11,
Yeah.
12, 13. Yeah. And that's like the physical puberty, right? But then you go through it again when you hit 23, 24, the age that we're at now, 25,
Mhm.
and it's a mental puberty. And that this age range sets the course for the rest of your adulthood.
Hmm.
And so I read that and I was like, it's no surprise that we're having these conversations, because like we're literally all going through the same thing, maybe in different ways, but
Right.
mentally we're all hitting the second growth spurt. And I think that this space, this podcast, allows us to just basically talk about what all we're going through from a mental standpoint, and we just putting it on the pod through mics, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's good stuff.
And it comes out, like I said, it all comes out naturally, like even joking, but really not joking about like social media. Like, okay, you can use that to your advantage. And then you have the mindset that, okay, you can use it to the advantage of using the word and getting it out through social media, through a way that you're like, for the best example I can think of it that's always in my face is Michael Turk. He's always constantly talking about the word, talking about God, talking about this. Use social media, post consistently, does all those things so you could kind of put the algorithm, which is scientific, and then you put the word, which is the message he's bringing, to pull in people using that pathos stream of mental capacity, and then you look at it and his numbers continue to grow because it's like, okay, I'm doing something for the Lord and I'm doing something in the modern era, the modern way, and I'm giving. You look at, somebody that always pops up on my thing is Mr. Beast, where he's giving out thousands of dollars all the time, like thousands of dollars and money's just continuing to flow in. But what he's doing is giving to other people, constantly helping other people. And so like, if that's the way God's using him, then he's continuing to provide money to give to the less fortunate, because Mr. Beast isn't scared to go into a random ghetto and be like, hey, I'm trying to give you money. You don't got to rob me, kind of thing. And then he also can go somewhere else and use that platform on a social media, create a team to continue to promote that positivity.
You know what I admire about Mr. Beast? In an interview, because y'all know he was making videos like 8 years before he even blew up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, bro, who is Mr. Beast?
Oh, you're asleep.
Bro, he's literally the most popular person on the internet right now.
Yeah, like on the internet.
Has over 100 million views per episode, almost on every YouTube video he posts.
Yeah, you
literally
gonna see him.
Oh, I'm tripping.
Literally, bro, almost 10% of the world watches or has seen his videos.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
Bro, you know how many people that is?
Dude, that's crazy.
10% of the world.
And he's some average Joe. But look, he's using everything for good. Everything he's got is for good.
But I was gonna say, in an interview, he said he wasn't worried about the money. Like once the money started coming in, that was the last thing on his mind. He concentrated on just making good content. That's all he wanted. He looked at the algorithm like Caleb. We were talking about it before we got on, but it sounds crazy, but it's not. He looked at the algorithm and he said people like when his face is on the videos and when his mouth is open and smiling. So that's why in all his what are they called? Clips. No, the picture of the videos before
snippets.
Yeah, I don't know. Colin probably knows. I wish he had a mic. He could tell me here. Thumbnail. There you go, Alex. Good job. And all his thumbnails look the same. All his videos are 8 to 11 minutes long, and he just kept doing that and making better and video. Anyways, he makes great videos, and I say all that to say, like, I kind of approach that way with the content in terms of like the podcast on the prairie or people over paper or anything I do now. Like, it's really not about the money. It's just about being good at where God puts you in life.
Bro, and to that point of Mr. Beast, I had read something about Jeff Bezos the other day, and this was going back to like the 1990s, whenever he was first starting Amazon. He was starting out as a bookstore, and then it showed constant videos of him over time. Like my goal is to make the most. I forgot the terminology he used, but like consumer friendly business in the entire world, and everything he was doing was just based on the consumer and serving the consumer in terms of what they wanted. And I think like sometimes people, whenever they have a great idea, they're like, okay, how can I create the best product, the best service, or better, the best whatever it is. But it's like if there's no demand or market for it, then it doesn't matter. And I think Jeff Bezos, rather than looking at the product or service, he looked at the consumer first and like what they wanted and tailoring everything to fit, their needs, their wants, or whatever the case is. And I think that's a big part of why Amazon is so successful today, and everything that they've achieved. So I think that's kind of similar to what you were saying with the Mr. Beast.
I mean, that same thing is all entrepreneurship and opening a business in general. Like, what's the pain? The pain in the marketplace. What are you addressing? Mr. Beast, he was addressing positivity and making videos that had your face in it. Like he wanted to make sure that everything he did, the quality of a video was good. That was the pain he was addressing, that quality. Whereas somebody might be, I want to post as many times as I can and just get whatever I capture, just put it out there. And same with Jeff Bezos, like you said, his pain was consumers were not getting the products the way they wanted to. It was a difficult process to obtain whatever they wanted to. And now it's the easiest way to get anything is to go through Amazon, because they're going to deliver it to you and they're going to do it in 2-3 days instead of having to get up, go to the store yourself, go shopping that way, leave the comfort of your home and not have it delivered to your door. No,
I feel like that's a great segue to our main topic for today's podcast, and being shoot your shot. Not only as an entrepreneur, but really just in life. I feel like one thing that both those guys that we just talked about did a great job of not waiting to develop the perfect product. Caleb, you just said it. from our master's program, they told us before you even say I want to go make t-shirts, right? Find a pain in the market. Find the problem before you find the solution, right? Because before anything has success, you got to see if it's going to fit the marketplace. You got to see if it's going to be worth the time and the effort, right? So it's like, for example, my mom is enrolling back into school, right? And for so long, she was like, I don't know what I want to do. I think I want to do this. I might want to do that. And she's thought about it for the longest. And then eventually I was just like, just enroll in a school. Like, you keep talking about it, just enroll in a school. Cause at first I'm the type of person to be like, go email 50 people, and, you know, out of those 50, like at least, I don't know, 5 to 10 will respond, go from there, make connections and da, 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 da. And that's just not her. And so I was just like, you know what? It's not you. Let's not go against the grain. Just go to an info. Just go to what do they call? Not an infomercial. Where they just tell you about the courses and stuff like that, right? So I had her do that. I was like, no commitment, no anything, da 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 da. So we signed her up for that. And the next thing you know, she's like, I really like this. I'm gonna just enroll. So she enrolled, and now she's starting school in like 2 weeks. She wants to be a project manager. And I feel like the hardest thing is just taking that first step, you know, whether you're ready for it or not, just go ahead and go, like, shoot your shot, you know, and see where things fall, make changes, and go from there.
Yeah. It's accompanied with a level of bravery, because going and shooting that shot does come with a lot of fear. You get comfortable with the job you have, and all the time I think about, oh, how long am I going to be a player development director? Like, how long am I going to be here? And you think you get a salary, guaranteed money every single month, and to risk that and go and start your own business or go and do your own thing different from that, where it's not guaranteed. And if you're starting your own business, or not guaranteed until you sign another contract, then it's scary to even think about, where it's like, I know this money's coming in. I know I can pay for this house. I know I can pay for all the bills that would go along with it. And I can provide for this family that I have, because I got other mouths to feed. But there's a level of peak, I guess. There's a peak in the role I'm in as a director of player development, where the most that the senior director makes is $110,000. And I'm like, that's only $30,000 more, where there's all these different jobs, and the people that making money, who they make, realistically, there's a lot of people that make $1 million a year. Like, it might not be a lot in the grand scheme of comparison to the world and to the entire United States, but it's still over 100 people. It's still over 200 people that are making $1 million a year doing different things. And they had to eventually take that leap of faith and just go out there. But I don't know. When I think about the fear part of it, honestly, for even myself, it's scary.
Man, you know, something that Justin Boyles, or JB, he always said that I love was, everybody in the world wants to be comfortable, and everybody's fine with being comfortable. Nobody's fine with like feeling the strain or the uneasiness or whatever the case is of like aspiring and like daring to be great. And I think, like, obviously y'all know JB's received some criticism or whatever. And I mean, that's all of us though that play ball. But I think that's the thing that I respected like nonstop about JB, is like him always daring to be great, and him always being like, I could take a step back from this. I could change the way I am. I could be like more accommodating and like be more comfortable. But like, he's always like just daring to be great. And I think like there's a huge amount of respect that I have for him about that. And then it's like holds me accountable to my own life. Like, how often am I just trying to be comfortable, or how often am I like really trying to be great?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the beauty of us, like being in the locker room that we was in. We was around so many great people, like whether that came out on the football field or whether that came out academically, whereas like a motivational speaker or whatever the case is. But we got to see all those different perspectives that really help us become some of the most well-rounded people in society.
You know, one of my friends was telling me a while ago, there was a study done in the 1950s or the 1960s, but innately we're only born with two fears: the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Everything else is somehow grown as we go through our childhood, move into adulthood. The fear of being judged, that's learned. The fear of spiders, it's learned. Snakes, learned. Fear of being hit, fear of fire, all that is learned, you know. And I feel like society, especially with social media, has done so much to our mental capacity that we fear things that we don't even know simply because of the content that we watch on a daily basis. You know, for example, I'm not gonna lie, I'm the best version of me when I look at Instagram or Twitter maybe once a day for 5 minutes and then go do whatever I need to do that day. And sometimes here's when I know I've had a great day, right? When a whole day or two goes by and I have like 10 notifications from my friends just sending me videos. Like Caleb, he'll send me stuff on TikTok. And sometimes I won't go back on there for like 4 days. And then I'll be like, why haven't I seen these in 4 days? And I'll be like, I've been working. You know, I've been trying to do other stuff that is actually beneficial to me rather than watching other people live their life. You know, I need to live mine. And I feel like when we get into that mode of just living our life, then slowly over time, those learned fears kind of dissipate, especially the ones of like comparison, you know, comparing yourself where you are now in life to other people.
Yeah. Same age or same demographic.
Yeah. You know, yeah, that, the whole being scared to go get another job or apply for something else or do something that, like, I feel like when we get into a mode of just day-to-day working and grinding, we slowly build the confidence to actually go do what God put us on this earth to go do, or do that something you've been thinking about. But then we get back on social media. Then we dive back into what keeps us in our small bubble, because we start to mentally take a step backwards because we're comparing ourselves. We're getting back into old habits. And, you know, whether it be social media or something else, you know, I'm of the impression that one thing could lead you to another that's not necessarily positive, but just keeps you in that bubble, if that makes sense.
And I think, because we had talked about this like the other time, one of the other podcasts, but like the lust of the eyes and then like the lust of the ears and like what you allow yourself to consume both visually and from an audio standpoint, like music, whatever's glorified in the music or uplifting music, like you tend to become more interested in those particular things. Same thing with what you see visually. So like you gotta be very, very intentional about what it is that you allow yourself to see and consume. Cause like even sometimes like we may fool ourselves by saying, I like to listen to music just because of the beats. But then like you find yourself using profanity more. You find yourself using this type of language to describe maybe women or men or like these demographic of people. So I think we gotta be very intentional about those particular things. And I think what you're saying to interpret it, Jay Hall, is like whenever we are intentional about those things, we have the best version of ourselves. And we find ourselves working and focusing on what, and the biggest thing that you said is what God put us on this earth to do and our purpose. So I think that's something we all got to fight and battle, because it's, you know, especially, you know, TikTok and the other social media platforms, the algorithms are meant to be addictive and to keep you on the platform by whatever means. So we got to break away from those particular things and focus on what it is that God put us here to do, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want people to think that we think that TikTok or Instagram is bad. You know, I fairly enjoy it because it does have positive things as well.
Right.
But I think the biggest word you said is intent.
Right.
You know, how long can you focus on moving with intent before you move on to something that you just naturally do just because?
Right.
Think about it. Like when you wake up, what's the first thing you do?
Turn off your
alarm.
alarm.
Probably grab your phone, right?
Yep, grab that phone, turn off your alarm. You might scroll, or do you get up?
Exactly. Exactly. Are you gonna scroll
Or you
because you
turn it
feel
off.
like you missed out on something? Yeah. Or are you gonna go get up and take a shower and start like how quickly can you take that shower? Then what's next? Okay. My morning routine. If
Yeah.
you don't have a morning routine, you're already wrong.
Yeah, you
Because
gotta
then you
create
gotta put in.
habits.
Yeah.
Hey, bro,
And
y'all.
as soon as
Oh, my fault.
Go
My
ahead, go
fault.
ahead.
I'll let you finish. Bro,
Go ahead.
CK, Coach Grinch used to always tell us, like, set your mind before your mind sets you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, that was one of the realest things, bro. And that's what you getting at right now, J Hall.
Mm-hmm. Because I feel like when you naturally start to do those type of things, then everything, I'm not going to say everything else becomes easy, which it doesn't. I don't want people to think that I'm detached from the world. But from my perspective, things that I've learned about myself over really since I've been cut, I've been trying to implement different things. It's just that when you start moving with intent, it makes you view things differently and it starts building up that confidence.
And what you're basically
actually-
saying is that with the intent, you're making less decisions for yourself. Because when you create that habit in a positive way, then it gives you the intent to get what you want. So, and create those good habits.
Yeah.
Because
Then
if you create the habit to scroll, now every time you scroll or how long you're doing it, like those are more decisions you're making every single time. It's like how Jim Harbaugh, who he's crazy for sure, but he wears khakis every single day. Or how Joe Cooper, who owns, I think, 6 or 7 different car dealerships out here in Oklahoma, he wears the same exact fit every single day to work because it's one less decision that you have to make. Because circling back to what we were just talking about with fear and shooting your shot, those are huge decisions that you have to choose over and over and over and over again. It can be related to like a relationship. I'm going to choose this person over and over and over again. But because every time you're doing that, every time you date somebody, that's like shooting a shot. That's putting so much risk of your well-being mentally, and it can even be physically sometimes with another person. But when you create that habit of I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna start my day, like my routine is I wake up every day. I don't scroll because I don't want to wake up Larson, who she doesn't wake up same time I do. I get up, I go put my clothes on for the day. Don't brush my teeth yet. Go get some food. Then I read my Bible, write in my journal. Then I go brush my teeth. Then kisses out the door. Like that's my routine. Then go work out. You already have it laid out. And that's that set your mind before it sets you. Then you go and you already have your workout plan there. So now your mind is already set up to where I already know what I'm doing. I don't have to think in this situation. Now I'm just physically moving. I just got to put my weight up. I just got to do what I got to do. And then you move on. The more you prepare and create those habits, the less you have to think. And then those easier or those big decisions become easier because you have more energy for them.
Yeah. Then you're able to make that big shot.
Mm-hmm.
You handle the little stuff first,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's the job. Then it's the, I'm going to quit, save this money, and go pursue something else.
Yep.
Then it's the, I'm going to move down to Arlington and get a job at McKinsey, and now I'm, like Patrick, I just feel like one thing leads to another. Now, granted, I don't know. I'm not perfect. I don't want anybody to sit here and think that we are perfect sitting here talking about all this stuff. I do sometimes scroll. I scrolled this morning. Shoot. I mean, it's Sunday, but still, it's all about the habits.
And you don't want to be a robot, but a big point that we always talk about is everything in moderation. And that's from the Bible. Everything in moderation. That's what one of Pat's biggest things are, I feel like, when listening to music or going and doing something. Like everything's got to be in moderation.
Right. I feel like once you get into a good enough pattern, you start to realize when you can and can't do certain things. But first, you got to know the pattern first of all. Like you got to feel good with your routine first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the real thing. Like once you like know your process and you know yourself, like, because even for me, there's like certain things that I know, like if I cut this on or if I start watching this movie, whatever it is, like I'm not finna break away. Like the same thing. I know if I take a nap like during the day, if I tell myself I'm gonna lay down for like 30 minutes and I'm gonna get back up in 30 and start working again, it's over with. So I think the more you know yourself, the more you know what you can and can't do. Like I know in my process, like I can't afford to like take a nap or to like watch this before I'm done with work for the day or whatever it is. So it's not like you gotta be a boring robot or anything. It's just like knowing yourself and you know, knowing your process.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good one. Caleb, you mentioned the journal thing. You say you started journaling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How's that been going for you?
So same with the routine, read the Bible. So I read a chapter a day, and then what I've been trying to do, which it can be hard, especially with kids and fiance and all that, but try to come home and read extra if I can, but I'll summarize in the journal what I just read because I don't want to just read it just to read it. I want to make sure I'm actually taking home what I just read. And so I'll do that. And then I've been writing prayers of every day, whatever's coming to my mind, I'll write down the prayer. And then if something extra is there that like is on my mind, whether it's an idea or it's just some, I guess, like I just said, on my mind, I'll just write that down too, because I don't want to forget it. It's early in the morning. That's where a lot of your fresh thoughts are. And if they start out that way, you might forget them through all the different things, all those different decisions, everything that's coming. But that's what I've been writing in my journal. I even got y'all in there already.
That's good.
For a little prayer, make sure my guys are good. So I try to keep my people
I appreciate that.
important and keep my people in my prayers, man, for real. Be intentional.
How can we be praying for you? What's something you need prayer for?
For me, man, peace at work, because there's always drama at work. That's one thing that I'm learning. Like, there's always some kind of drama at work. So just peace over there, man. And then health for my family, just because those two, with Sway going to preschool, man, little kids get sick all the time. Man, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, y'all were just sick,
right? But that was my first time being sick the whole season. Larson's been sick 4 times, I think. But when your body,
because of him,
yes, because of him, and so she's more prone to getting sick. So health big, but then like when you're working, how your body won't let you get sick because it's too focused on the task at hand. Well, I relaxed because season's over, and then boom, instantly got sick. So. That's something crazy we can talk about later. But
what about you, Pat? You just moved, so I know you need some prayer on something.
Man, bro, I think I found like a good church to go to here. So I was gonna probably just prayers about that. Find like the right church. Find a place that's gonna like spiritually grow me and mature me the way I need to, and then just like keeping everything focused on God, like. How can I glorify God through using the resources that he's given me in like this stage of my life?
Mm-hmm.
So
how you feel about your new job? You nervous?
Nah, bro. I mean, like, I don't know what your athletes do. You go, it doesn't matter like what the task is. You just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you got to show up regardless.
Man. Nah, I will say, I'm like a little bit like, dang, how do I, cause like we got swag, bro. Like I don't want to come in, every single day. Or even if we wear a suit, like for example, we throw on sneakers with our suits. Like we don't want to wear like old dress shoes. So I don't know, trying to find that fine line between having my little bit of swag and
You got a cool boss?
Shucks. Yeah, all the people at the firm is cool. All the people at the firm is cool. So
that's good.
Well, I'll tell y'all. Yeah, your prayer.
Me, bro, just determination in my endeavors, bro. Because sometimes when I'm trading and trying to build a fund and making sure that I'm making the right moves, like I don't have a coach. Mm-hmm. I don't have anybody sitting here telling me, Jay Hall, like you had a good day today. Or Jay Hall, you need to improve on this. Like every single day I'm evaluating myself. And sometimes I can be too hard on myself because I'm scared of not being hard on myself enough.
Right.
Like Caleb, I see you working with the kids, helping them move in, hanging with Cordell. And I'm like, dang, like that's really cool. You know, Pat, you just got your job. You know, people at McKinsey, they're going to help and guide you. And in a way, I envy wanting someone by my side. But at the same time, it's why I even want to do it in the first place, because I know that I can get there. So
You control your own destiny.
yeah. So peace of mind, confidence in my abilities, and similar to Pat, just making sure I glorify God along the way.
That's good. Well, what is this? Episode 3? People over
Episode
paper.
3. People
Already?
over paper.
Dang.
Yeah. For y'all listening, we hope to do this at least twice a month. And even if not, at the minimum, at least once a month. I don't know. It's a little bit different than the podcast on the prairie because we don't have a game to
Every week,
record
yeah.
afterwards. So it's just
What comes to
whenever
mind.
Caleb can. Yeah, whenever Caleb can put down the kid,
Whoa.
that's pretty much when we record.
Don't put it all on me now. You know, Pat's the one moving. He's busy, you know.
Nah, I'm
Yeah.
settled down now.
We'll
a
get
couple
more
weeks.
consistent. We'll be more consistent.
For sure. All right, y'all. Episode 3, People Over Paper. That's all we got.
Peace.
Peace.
Doses.